Citizens would be shocked to know that this project was done on budget with no new taxes and no new debt. When we started down this path, we were told it was impossible. But in Orem, we make things happen.
Yeah, City of Orem is very fortunate in teaming up with Method Studio. Method Studio is the architect, the masterminds, if you will, behind designing this beautiful building.
So my name is Joe Smith. I'm one of the founding partners of Method Studio, and we've been very fortunate to work with Orem City, not only on the City Hall, but the Family Fitness Center, Library Hall, and it's just been such an honor and a privilege to work with the good folks here at Orem. This project means the world to me. I raised my family in Orem in their formative years when they were young, bringing the family to Orem Fest. We still do that, even though we don't live in Orem anymore. We love it here. This is our community. These are our neighbors, and to be able to serve and give back to the neighbors and bring this beautiful facility. The City Hall is a place where community comes together, and the services that are done here are on behalf of the community. And so to be a part of that just feels really incredible. It's a highlight of my career, honestly.
Also, we teamed up with Layton Construction. They did the CMCG, which is Construction Management General Contractor.
My name is Brian Macbeth. I'm a Vice President with Layton Construction. We're the General Contractor and Construction Manager for the Orem City Hall project. You know, we had a great experience working on this project. We have a great experience with Method Studio, a good history that we've been able to collaborate a lot on, this being one of those projects. Lane and Ryan and the staff that we worked with here were very good to work with. We were able to work through any problems that came up. I would dare say our meetings that we had every week were very enjoyable as we worked through it, and that's a good sign of being able to collaborate together as a team for the good of the community and also for this project.
For this project, we've been saving up for 9 years, but that's just a part of the puzzle. It took the creativity of the City Council, the city staff, the contractor, all the different parties involved to come together to figure out how to do this and make it happen the way that we were able to.
Layton Construction, Method Studio, the City of Orem, those teams working together have been a great team. Not only designing, building, and now moving into this beautiful building. It's been a phenomenal experience for the City of Orem.
We started out this project by going with a CMGC process, which is a construction management general contractor process, where we hire a general contractor at the beginning of the project, as well as an architect.
So Layton is brought on to be not only the contractor for the project, but also a construction manager, which means that we work with the project team to help them to keep the project within budget and on schedule. We're brought in early in the design process. We work with the architect alongside the owner, and we work to develop budgets that are going to help the project be successful to meet the end project budget. We help them with cost of materials, different types. What are some of the options we can do to help this come in within budget? So it's a more unique role than just being the contractor on the project.
In the beginning, as we started the project, a lot of the grubbing that happened here on campus was actually done by city personnel. Public Works chipped in to remove some of the sidewalk, some of the asphalt parking, putting in some of the water lines and fire hydrants and so forth prior to the building being actually built. The fire department came in. You'll remember that on this campus there were several trees. The fire department came in. We're actually able to do some wildland fire training and remove the trees. Not only was that a big help as far as cost and so forth, but the fire department, don't let them kid you, they had a great time doing it.
I think one of the biggest challenges that we all face on this project is the proximity of the existing City Hall. Here on the north side of the building, we are 12 feet away from the existing building. A lot of our equipment is 8 feet wide, 10 feet wide. We're having to maneuver between the building and this new project without affecting the existing City Hall. Keeping it open, keeping it in business, and letting the residents of Orem still have a somewhat normal experience as they come to the City Hall while it's still open for business. That creates a lot of different challenges, not only the proximity of the building, but just the limited amount of laydown area. We've got to bring in steel, we've got to bring in joist, big items of material that need a place to sit until they're put into the building. So having an active campus right next to where we're building makes it a little more difficult and a little more challenging, especially when we're 3 stories high and the square footage that we are on this project.
There's a funny story. When this project for this new City Hall building was first conceived, I came to find out, as I became the point person for analyzing and researching and proposing what we might do moving forward with the new City Hall building, that I was perhaps strategically located at ground zero in the old building, where the first place to go, had there been an earthquake over the last several years, would have been my office. So I am especially incentivized and excited again that we have this new building that has been built to the highest seismic safety standards, so that not only we as employees can be working in a safe place, but also so that we can keep operations going for the public in the event of an emergency or an earthquake. In addition to those seismic safety standards, I'm also really excited about our new Emergency Operations Center, where we can keep operations going and have our finger on the pulse of all types of city operations in a centralized location that will be safe and have the size capacity that we need to continue with operations.
At any given time, as far as when the building was being built, there would be 80 to 100 people on site building this building. And Layton rode herd, if you will, over all those subcontractors. And then Method Studio, their team being here on a weekly basis, reviewing the construction, seeing it all come together, making sure that the construction actually met their design and their vision for this building.
So the 3 of us worked together, knowing what our schedule was, what our budget was, and also what our goals were that we were trying to meet in terms of price per square footage, types of building materials, types of look of the building, making sure we didn't go and build a Taj Mahal, but more of a functional building that is similar to what you see in the tech sector. We toured other buildings, we looked at what was built at UVU, we looked at those types of finishes and how we wanted an open floor plan, lots of natural light. We're getting our employees out of the basement. We wanted them to have a new experience where they wanted to be here. We wanted our employees to see this as a wonderful facility that they want to work in.
When folks have been part of an existing infrastructure or existing building for a very long time, especially one that has deficiencies, and not only the way it's laid out, but natural light, they're growing pains and they're bursting at the seams, and they come into a new building that begins to solve all those things for them. It really can be transformative for a city, transformative for those individuals that work and live within that space. And so we're excited for that, the experience that they're going to have as they're moving into this building, how it's going to help them not only feel better and feel healthier, but also do their work in a more effective way.
We are so fortunate to be in this new City Hall building. Every time I come in to see the bright natural light, I'm filled with gratitude that we get to be in this bright and beautiful new building. We talk about how the city's mission is to provide an environment where families can thrive, and I just feel super grateful, and we should all take the opportunity to thank our mayor and council and our wonderful residents for giving the confidence and trust in us as city staff to be able to provide a place where our employees can thrive, and also where we can continue to provide the wonderful customer care to each resident moving forward in this beautiful space.
So the clock was a request from the City Council to provide either a clock on the building or a clock tower, some sort of iconic element that could be seen and sort of identify the building with. So we investigated multiple concepts, and the one that everyone felt the strongest about is what you see on the building. So it becomes sort of a part of the brand of the building.
The way the building was designed is the architects focused the center of the building. It's kind of like a canyon. And then they took each side of the building as one side of a mountain that has more vegetation and one side of the mountain that has less vegetation and more of rockscape. So the colors in the building on one side are a little more green, and on the other side are a little more slate colored. And so it's was interesting to see the process, the creative process that architects go through as they design these facilities. And so in a way, the center feature of this building is the canyon, and it has a great vista of Mount Timpanogos depending on where you stand, and they just did a really good job of taking advantage of nature and tying it into the building.
Even though when I come into this bright and beautiful new building, I have to pinch myself to remind myself that this is real, it isn't just a new beautiful building. We are also committed, and it's a show of trust from our mayor and council public, to build a better Orem and to give more to the public in our everyday public service. There's a reason why the first place that you see when you come into this building is our customer service help center on your left and our city council chambers on the right. We want to make sure that we're quickly and easily accessible to solving the public's questions, concerns, and requests.
Why did we do this? It had been talked about for years, but it was always just talked about and never done. But when I came into office, after going through the city building, I could see that it had a lot of issues. Now, I knew we had an amazing city staff, we had amazing employees, but they needed a better work environment. They needed a safer work environment. And I knew if we could get this building done, we'd be able to take Orem to the next level.